Okay, we're back in the Chofetz Chaim, a lesson a day. This is day 11. So the section that says Sefer Chofetz Chaim, it's titled Common Knowledge. A derogatory statement is considered lashon hara, or evil speech, even when the information is common knowledge, or, as stated above, to speak negatively of one's fellow is shameful in itself. So negative information about Jews appearing in newspapers may not be repeated. Newspapers, and even today this would apply to like news or social media or any of those. Newspapers often publish articles based on hearsay, and thus one is not even permitted to believe such information if the newspaper is its only source. Even after one has verified the information, he may nevertheless not repeat it. Okay, in the margin it says, the antithesis of Torah study, the greatest of all mitzvot, is lashon hara. The antithesis of Torah study is lashon hara. And Torah study is the greatest of all mitzvot. Okay. Now, in the section that says for his book, Sefer Shmirat HaLashon, or the book on guarding your speech, it's titled Equal to All. Talmud Yerushalmi, so the Jerusalem Talmud, Peah 1:1, states that the reward for studying Torah is equivalent to that of all other mitzvot combined. And the punishment for speaking Lashon Hara is equivalent to that of all other sins combined. Wow. Thus, the antithesis of Torah study, the greatest of all mitzvot, is Lashon Hara. Their respective primacy can be explained as follows. On the four basic elements of nature, fire, wind, water, and earth. And those four basic elements, you'll notice if you look in the first chapter of Genesis where it starts talking about things being created, this is how this came to be, that there's four elements, is because if you look very closely at the words that are used, things are created from water, or from earth, or from wind, or from, fire. They are elements that God created, that he creates things from or out of. So that's why we have this idea in Judaism that there's four basic elements. Okay, so continuing. The four basic elements of nature, fire, wind, water, and earth, the intangible fire and wind are far more powerful than the tangible water and earth. Fire can engulf material objects and totally destroy them. And the power of wind is awesome, as it is written, a great and mighty wind which breaks apart mountains and shatters stones. Malachim Aleph 19:11. So that's 1 Kings 19:11. The same is true in the spiritual realm. Torah study impacts in the upper worlds in a way that no other mitzvah can. This is because all other mitzvot are related to the physical. For example, to fulfill the mitzvah of tzitzit, one dons a garment, a material object. A lulav is held, a physical act. A shofar must be blown, etc. Torah study, however, is performed through the power of speech, which essentially is a function of the soul. This is why the reward of Torah study is equivalent to that of all other mitzvot combined. The converse is true of sin. The spiritual damage caused by Lashon Hara is infinitely greater than that caused by other transgressions because it is committed through the power of speech. Its effect in the upper spheres is awesome. Therefore, its punishment is equivalent to that of all other sins combined. And I want to put this out there again. I've said this multiple times now. So the importance of speech is because when the life that's brought into us, it's the ruach, the breath of Hashem. He breathed into us the breath of life, and we became a living creature. So whenever we breathe, if you just sit there and just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, you'll notice that it's more pleasurable to breathe in than it is to breathe out. That's because you're receiving that life of Hashem into you. But you cannot communicate without breathing out. Every sound that you say, every linguistic sound that you say for any language is basically a breathing out. It's all breathing out. How we communicate is breathing out into the world. So, you have to use the speech, use the wind, the ruach that Hashem gave you, and use it correctly when you're speaking. So, we want to try to perfect our speech. And just like we said a few days ago, if you mess up in the morning, you still have the afternoon. If you mess up today, you still have tomorrow. So let that be an encouragement to you to continue to learn and perfect your speech. Bezrat Hashem, we will all get there one day and be great Mekubalim, just like the Chofetz Chaim. Thanks for watching.